Good morning, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a little bit more of a vloggy what I'm working on video. I haven't really had the time to film a project recently, and there's a few reasons for that. But there are a few things that I've been trying to get done, and so I thought I would bring you along for a couple of them, at least partly working on them, maybe finishing it up, depending. So I've already started my Christmas prep, which I know it's September. However, what I mean by that is more of just, I really enjoy making things for people to give them. And I like tailoring it to something that they would use, something that they would enjoy. So usually that's more on the crochet realm of things, because crochet is just my relaxing thing. Like I am never planning on trying to sell anything that I crochet, and I just really enjoy doing it. I just really enjoy crocheting things for people, but not just random stuff, things that they will actually use or appreciate. So like one year, I've got my book here, I'm going to be making some more of these, but I made a whole bunch of these snowflake ornaments for a lot of friends, and that was a lot of fun, and they were beautiful. I had found some crochet thread that was gold and silver with some sparkle through it, and it made the most stunning snowflakes. And who doesn't like Christmas ornaments? I mean, I guess there are some people that might, but I love them, and they were a hit all around. I didn't even make all of the ones in this book. I've got a lot more I want to go. I've had this book for absolute years, and I want to make some more. And I have a bunch of, I don't have any more of the gold and silver thread anymore, but I've got a whole bunch of white. So I want to make some more of these, but this wasn't, I'm not sure I'll be giving any of these away this year. I think I just want to make some for my tree and potentially my kids, so that they can take some of these when they leave. But one other thing that I wanted to do, that I want to actually use for the gifts this year, and I don't think anybody that I'm giving these to watches my channel, so I think I'm safe to say this, is to make some kitchen towels for people that have a lace crocheted edging, and then embroider something that is special for that particular person or family. How that might look, I'm not sure, and I do not mean hand embroidery, I mean machine embroidery. I'll be making the lace by hand, obviously with crochet, but then the towel. I found some good towel cotton that is cream colored, which is great because I have a absolute ton of this cream colored crochet thread that I found, guess where? At the thrift store. I actually have a whole, this is all my cream and white thread. I have a couple more colors that I didn't pull back out of my bins that I took out of this room, that are crochet thread that are not cream and white. They're not here, but I pulled the white and cream out because the cream is going to be what I do for the lace, and then white for the snowflakes. And I'm just going to crochet and see how much I can get done, and then that will determine how many towels I make. But like, one of my really good friends absolutely loves to bake, and she does a lot of absolutely adorable cookies, and she did some cookies for my twins for their first birthday that were the Very Hungry Caterpillar, and when I tell you, those are like the cutest cookies I've ever seen in my life. And if I can go, I mean, I have pictures of them, if I can quickly go get the pictures to show you what my friend has done with cookies, they were so cute. Anyway, and so I want to make her, she was kind of the inspiration, but all of my friends would probably really enjoy a kitchen towel. So what I'm not sure about is whether or not I want to do like a theme for just her family, or whether I want to do several different holiday towels and put like a holiday embroidery on it. And that all depends on how much lace I can get made between now and when I am starting to give these things away. Because if I make enough lace to make several towels per person, then I will probably theme them for holidays. So that remains to be seen. But over the last week I have been doing some, and so like here's the first one. These are so pretty. Here's the second one, and they're all like roughly about 16 inches width because I'm just putting them on one end of the long end of the towel that would like hang on an oven or something. Here's another one. I just finished blocking the last two of these yesterday. There's this one. And then I just finished my fifth one, and it needs to be blocked, so I figured I'd do that on camera. So there's this one, and like I said, I literally just finished this 10 minutes ago, so I need to go block it, and it's a little bit wider than the other ones, so I'm gonna go ahead and block it before I start the next one. And then the next one I have that I'm gonna tackle is this one. So I'm probably not going to actually crochet in this video, but I'll block it and show off all the laces. I don't know if this video will go up before I finish laces, because I'm going to be crocheting laces for a while, because once I finish the ones in this book that I want to do, this is just a book I found at a thrift store recently. I have another book of edgings, and I'm going to see what I want to do out of those. So, and then I might repeat some of these. Who knows? So anyway, so I'm going to block that. At some point, I might show the snowflakes that I made. I don't even know how long I've had this book. I'm pretty sure this predates my marriage by quite a few years. And it sat in my closet for quite a few years before I tackled it for some reason. I don't know why, because let me tell you, they turned out so pretty. Who doesn't love snowflakes? So anyway, I'm excited. It's been relaxing. I've had a lot going on, so I might talk about that a little bit while I'm blocking, but let me go get this hand washed really quick and then we will block it. So these are my little tiny pins, and I'm just using this line here on the block mat to line this up, and I'm going to go ahead and go down one side because I need these to be roughly about 16 inches long, and so I need to know how much it needs to be stretched, just a smidge, but I want it to be straight. So this one might have to be a little bit more stretched than some of the other ones, just simply because I don't need it much bigger than 16 inches, and a whole nother motif took it way beyond the 16 inches. So I'm gonna line this up here, and I think that'll be just fine because it's not too much of a stretch, but enough. And then I'm gonna come do the other side, and then I'll work on all of this in a second. Okay, so that's the length I need. And then I'm just going to put a lot of pins in. I got it washed, hand washed, and then I rolled it up in a towel to wring a little bit more of the water out of it, and twisted it and squeezed it so it is wet but not gonna take, days to dry. So just gonna go all the way down. I love this line here. It took me a long time to go invest in a blocking mat, and this really isn't even that expensive. There was 4 of these in the pack for $15 at Walmart, and I don't know why I haven't done it sooner. It would have certainly been helpful last a couple years ago when I was doing all of those snowflakes, and when I do them more. It may seem like I'm putting an excessive amount of pins in here, but I would rather have too much and it dry exactly how I want it. And that seemed to work really well with the other laces I've already done. So I'm just gonna keep plugging at this, and I will come back when I'm done. All right, now I just need to let that dry all the way and then go take all the pins out. I might actually straighten this one up a little bit because looking at it on camera, it looks a little more squished than the others. But yeah, that's basically it. So the other thing I'm trying to get done today before I've got to go pick up the kids from school is I am making pot holders for the kitchen. So if you have seen the video where I showed the rugs that I made for the kitchen, and if you've seen too many of my other previous videos, you will know that I have been working on slowly redoing things in my kitchen for a while, and the color scheme is completely different than it used to be. So I did need new pot holders, but I've been looking for ones that had the green in it to tie in with the green cabinets and the rugs and all of that, and I just wasn't finding any. So it was one of those, okay, well, I'll just make it. I know how to sew. And I got, let's see here, let me show. Some of this fabric, and I got it in 3 different colorways. So there's the purple, there's pink, and then there's a blue that I've already finished the set. So my goal was a set of each of the mittens out of each fabric, and then a set of more basic pot holders, which I'll show when I'm done. And I have finished all of the basic pot holders, and I have finished the blue set entirely, mitts and everything. So these 4 mitts, the two pink ones and the 2 purple ones, are the only ones that I have left. And they've been sitting here for a week, and I'm not going to use them all and hang them all up. This is 3 whole sets of pot holders, but why I went ahead and did that is because I go through pot holders. Like I cook, and you know, we have a family of 7, and I'm in the kitchen a lot. Like I said, the previous ones were pretty dead. I needed to replace them anyway. So my plan was go ahead and make all this while I've got the supplies out. I went and gotten the Insulbrite and the cotton batting. So there's 2 layers of, there's the Insulbrite on the outside and then cotton batting on the inside. And this hasn't been my favorite project, but it's just been one that I was willing to do to get the color I wanted. And I'm not going for perfection on these. If you look really closely, a lot of my, I didn't mark any quilting lines, so you can see that that's not 100% straight. They're not 100% completely spaced out. That's not the purpose. With them hanging on the wall where I have them hanging in my kitchen, you really can't tell, and they're going to be dirty very quickly after they get hung up because I get them dirty. So I'm just going for the look. So, you know, there's a lot of projects that I do that I feel a lot more particular about. This was not one of them, and the blue ones turned out just fine. The lines aren't 100% even, and like I said, once it's complete, you really couldn't tell. So I got the the outside fabric, and then some of them have the same fabric as a lining, which I had to piece together to have enough to get 4 pot holders out of each fabric. And then some of them have this green lining, which I got for this project, but this was for the binding for around the smaller pot holders and around the top of these mitts. And then I used the rest of it for the lining when I ran out of the other fabric. So I have gotten the last of them quilted. Each layer pot holder is 4 layers. I think this is why this has not been my favorite project. It's really thick, and normally when I do quilting there's only 1 layer of batting in between, but everything I saw said it would be better to do 2 layers, one with the Insole Bright on the outside and then the 100% cotton batting on the inside. So that is what I went with, and having completed 1 set already, I kind of agree with that. It feels more appropriate. So I've got 4 more mitts to go sew together inside out, and then once those are turned, I've got the tabs for hanging them and then the binding cut out, and I will do that. So I just thought I'd again bring you along for the ride of me getting this done. And then I think I didn't finish what my plan is. I went ahead and put the ones with the blue flowers in the kitchen, and then I'm going to store these other 2 sets, and when the blue ones are dead, I'm just going to grab one of the other sets and put them out. And this way I don't have to buy pot holders or make any more pot holders for quite some time. So the other sets are just going to go in the hutch in my dining room, where they will sit happily until it is time for them to get used. So let me go sew up these mitts. Okay, so I've got all 4 of them sewn together with wrong sides, and I want to point out what I did here. I don't know if you saw it, but I went and back stitched like 2 or 3 times before I turned it, and did another back stitching here, because this is obviously where it's going to be inside out, and it's going to be getting a lot of pressure, and I just want to make sure that it doesn't come undone. So one other thing that I did here is I'm going to clip into that up to the all that stitching. And also part of the reason I did the back stitching too is just if I accidentally happen to clip 1 or 2 of the stitches, there's a lot more. So, and then the other thing I need to do is, these are the curves, so I'm cutting out a notch basically in them, just so that it's not, it should turn better that way. So I've been doing like 1 here, and then a decent one here, and it's been working fine. Again, I'm not trying to do necessarily anything close to professional here. This is for my personal use, and it looks good enough for what I need it for in the kitchen. Obviously, I put a lot more time into the rugs. That's something that's there for more ornamental. This is more, I just use them all the time. They're hanging there, so I'd like for them to be color coordinated with the rest of the kitchen. That's it. Alright, the pot holders are done. Yay! So these are what I'm talking about. For one, this is the blue that I didn't show earlier. These are the smaller pot holders that I was talking about that are just basic flat pot holders with a hand pocket. And yeah, you know, they still have the lining as well. So there's still a lot of layers, but you can see, you know, if you look closely, that the bias tape I made for this did stretch a little bit and puckered, but I don't care. Also, I didn't quilt the backs of at least these blue ones, and when I did quilt the front, but between this set and this set, the pink ones, which were the second ones I did, I started figuring out that I could quilt all 4 layers together and save myself some time and still have the quilting. So anyway, these are quilted on the front and back, as are the purple ones. And then we have all of the mitts. So I'm really pleased with these. And they are the colors I was looking for. So they're basic. Like, I didn't even serge the inside of the seams here. Again, these are pot holders that I am going to actively use. So I've already been using the blue ones for 3 days, and I'm actually surprised there's no stains on them already. So anyway, I'm gonna go hang them back up. I am happy that I did that, although I am more happy at this particular moment that they're done and that I have 2 more full sets for when the blue ones are done for. So I won't need to buy any for a long time, and these go with the vibe of my kitchen. So that makes me really happy. So those. Yay. Those have been sitting on my table, and partially because I really wasn't enjoying quilting through that many layers and working with that much quilt padding, and the Insel Bright felt weird. Like, I know it was necessary, but it felt weird and I didn't like messing with it. So I am glad that's done. One thing I want to tackle in this video, well, not tackle, I guess that's not a good word. One thing I did want to add into this video really quick is in my sewing room tour video, I did have someone ask me about the wall of the table that I have all my sewing machines on and my ironing board on that literally stretches from corner to corner in this room. And I have not been able to figure out how to make that its own thing, and that's really been the only question about the sewing room that I have gotten. So I'm going to address it here really quick. Those are butcher block countertops, either from Lowe's Hardware or Home Depot hardware store. I will search that up and put a picture of it in here when I find it, before when I'm editing this video. And there's 3 of them, and they came with the hinges to the whole, what holds the shelf up. It is a workstation, and I think one of the advertisements for it was that it could literally hold a miter saw and not move. And so that's why we looked into it. So they are in all the studs down the wall. There's 3 of them. I did have to trim off the length of one of them because 3 was just a little bit too long from corner to corner. But the hardware that holds them up are actual, like, they're not hinges. Maybe they're hinges. Anyway, these can fold down flat up against the wall. I have yet to do that. They are always up. But yeah, the biggest thing for it was making sure that when I went and measured to install them all the way across, that I did it at the same point so that it was a level table all the way across. But these things I could sit on and they're not going to move because they are in, I think there's like 2 bolts on both of the hinges. I'm just going to call them hinges. Both of the hinges under the butcher block that are in studs. So there's 4 bolts in the stud, if I'm remembering correctly, for each one of the sections here. So I can fold them down up against the wall if I need to, but they right now hold all of my sewing machines. So I'll again put the picture in a minute ago when I said I would, and find that and see if I can figure out whether it was Lowe's or Home Depot. But I'm thinking it was Lowe's. Anyway, you'll know by now. I'll put it in there, but I did want to say that here. So also, another reason I'm just doing a little bit of a chill, finish up a couple of projects with me and kind of show what I've been working on is I'm not sure what the channel is going to look like over the next few months because I am still putting more effort into getting my website going and my business up, but I have actually had limited ability to even do that because about mid-June I started experiencing some severe abdominal pain that I'm not going to go into a whole bunch of medical stuff, but there has been so many tests, so many appointments and everything over the last few months trying to figure out what is going on because this has been extremely debilitating. All that to say is I just found out yesterday I am headed towards a hysterectomy. I am relieved that we have some sort of an answer and what can potentially help it, but that is still a couple of months out before I can even get in for that surgery, and I am still dealing with this pain almost on a daily basis. So I'm just trying to be a little bit more chill. I don't really know what I'll have the ability to do, but I wanted to put this up. I wanted to answer my followers' question. I'm sorry, I forget what your handle is, forget what your name is, the one that asked the question about the sewing table that goes across my room, and I did want to show off my lace because I'm pretty proud of it. It's not that, I mean, it's not really that hard if you've never made it. It's just it's always so pretty when it gets done, and I'll probably show the process of making some of the towels when I get to that, but that might be another month or so down the road because I'm just making lace right now and, like I said, seeing exactly how much I can get done. That is me, and yeah, still have 5 kids in school and all of that, so life is busy, and medical problems on top of that certainly haven't been helping. But there's a reason I've gotten a lot of crocheting done. Like I said, it's more relaxing for me and I can curl up on the couch and do it. So I have been practicing knitting, and I finished a baby blanket for a friend. So I'm still glad that I taught myself how to knit, but I am not proficient or confident enough in knitting yet for it to be my relaxing yarn needle activity. So crochet it is. Anyway, thanks for hanging with me for this video. I have to go pick up kids from school in about 20 minutes and I need to eat some lunch first, so I will see what I have the ability to film over the next little while and see what we get done. And I can't wait to show the towels and all of the lace when I'm done with it. In the meantime, at whatever point in time I get back into some major projects, I'd love for you to stick around and subscribe if you want to see more. I do enjoy doing this and I want to keep it up, but we'll have to see. So until the next time, I'll see you in the next one.